2
Bruh.
shots. We're back. There. Just leave me alone. I'm sleeping. Wifey's back to work.
Yep.
And she got a kitty on her lap. Still, man.
He's like, don't touch me.
Anyways, gotta take me a wad of cash out to Jerry. So we're going to pick up the Infiniti. Because it's time to bring her home. Also, did make a decision on the Subaru. The motor. I replaced that rear plate. I am not going to replace the rear main seal because it's actually in really good condition and it's not leaking. So we're not going to mess with that. What we are doing is the water pump and all the timing belt components. So that's all we're doing on this, and we're going to slap it back together. I got to stay on a budget on this. You know, that you could do the oil pump too, but that's more of a job. I'm just gonna do what I can. The timing belt definitely needs replaced, and when you do a timing belt, you want to do tensioners and stuff like that. So we're gonna do that also. Then we'll slap her back in. I don't know if I showed you guys. I hope I didn't break that grill. I got this from my dad a long time ago. And he just cleaned up his garage and he's not using it, so he brought it back up for me. It's a nice working table that you can slide under the vehicle and have your tools right there with you. So I did that. Also cleaned up this engine cradle. It had natural rust preventative on it. It was covered in dirt and oil, and also cleaned the inside of the bell housing. So all of this is spotless. I'm going to be power washing the engine after I get everything done on it and get the covers and stuff back on. I did clean inside of here whenever I did that plate, which it's all sealed up and good. That looks like it's the original cover. It's Japan, so that's, you know, where Subaru is originated from. And this, it looks like the original cover, and it doesn't look like it's cracked or anything, but some of the bolts were loose. So that's why that was leaking. We shouldn't have that issue now. And, yeah, we'll get this thing all cleaned up after I get it back together. And it'll look nice and shiny to go back into the engine bay. Also, might do it this episode, I don't know yet. I got to change out those CV boots. The axles are fine, but the boots need to be changed. And I do have them. Also have an oil pan gasket, which we will get to eventually here. That's another thing I'm doing on the engine. But all of this is got to be pushed aside for right now. Got to get this thing out of here, which I'll do it later. I want to go get the Infiniti.
So let's go to Jerry's.
Oh, she was a cold start. Jerry's paint job looks phenomenal, like it always does, but he also blended the fenders so that our paint will match, because the fenders still have paint on them. So that's nice. And then I also got a lot of touch-up. He gave me there's half a pint there of each. There is the first stage, and then the pearl coat. So I'll have some areas that I can touch up, like the edge of the door needs a little touch up, and there's a couple marks on one side skirt that needs a little touch up. So we'll touch this thing up so it looks nice. This whole car was painted before, and they didn't do the best job, but it looks presentable. So I think, and I don't know yet, but we get the Subaru done, we'll get this thing done. I'll probably sell the Subaru, and then I'm supposed to go back to first shift. So I'm thinking that I may sell the Civic and put a license on this. so we can keep it around for a little while. I think it'll be a fun car to mess around with, maybe do some modding and stuff, but unfortunately I have to take the nice tint off that's on it to get it inspected, but I think this will be a nice car when I get it done. So Teespring delivered quick this time. I ordered 3 things last week. One thing hasn't come yet, but this is one of them that came. I ordered a premium sweatshirt, my new emblem. Now the quality, the picture quality is not the clearest, and that's probably because of the image I used, but it still looks half decent. And it looks the best on a black sweatshirt. And then look what else I got. I got Wifey a sweatshirt for her company.
Body by Ashley.
Yeah, I got her sweatshirt. It's nice, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's
the premium ones are really nice. They're light,
yeah,
but they're warm.
I do like them a lot better.
Yeah.
He's camouflaging himself as a shoe. What? What'd you say? Yeah? He's looking directly into the camera. Boy, that was a big purr.
So this is one of those things where I've been through multiple builds since I've gotten this. And now I'm just trying to figure out where I put everything. I had these pieces in the trunk. This one was a little bent, so we're going to have to see. They're very flexible, so you can bend them to how. I just need to get them bolted here, there, and the fender. Once I get the fender on. This one wasn't bent, it was just shifted. So this one's kind of still in shape. So I'm just kind of like looking around, trying to feel it out where I have everything at. One radiator bolt got stuck in here, and I don't think it's coming out. So we're just going to redo this with a self-tapper whenever we do this. I got to get this back on here. Yeah, now that everything's shifted, everything fits different. Okay, so I'll probably just put a self-tapper in, right, or maybe 2 of them, whatever, just to get that to hold. Like I said, I think this is going to be my personal vehicle for a little while, so doesn't have to be perfect. That one, I gotta re-plastic weld this whole piece on here after I get it to fit in there right. But then the radiator's in place. The fans aren't bad. I gotta re-tighten up or get a bigger washer for that mount over there, because that mount was busted. This one is also busted off, so there's nothing really holding the radiator fans in there. And I started assembling the bumper. I got a mess, but here's the fenders, the bumper. I put the grills and fog lights back in it, and his paint job looks awesome. The pearl, everything looks good. He blended the fenders, so he blended them and re-cleared the whole thing. So it's an even clear, but should match the car, even though the car needs to be cleaned. It doesn't look like it matches right now, but after the car is cleaned, it should match very well. He also did a burnout. He had the brake on. He dug a hole in the dirt. He didn't realize the brake was on. And he said, man, that thing just spun the tires. He dug a hole. So the tire's pretty dirty. But I am very anxious to see these on here. So after I figure all this out, get some of this stuff bolted up, I'll just show you progress steps. Instead of recording, I'm just going to show you processes, like one piece on, the next piece on, the next piece on, and so on. So let's get started with that. don't get this confused. I am not done with this thing yet. I still have a skid plate to put under. I have exhaust to do. I have to fix the driver's seat, fix the door locks because the buttons don't work. It has to do something with the immobilizer. But that looks awesome. I still got to remove the pinstripe because we're going to go pinstripeless. But the paint, man, the paint, Jerry knocked it out of the park. Now, it looks like it's off compared to the car right now, but the car is extremely dirty. It's been sitting outside out of Jerry's for a while. So, I just had to sit here and change out headlight bulbs for a while. In fact, I could see that that headlight bulb hardly matches this one now. So, I don't think I have another bulb left. No, that one's gone. So, we're just going to have to deal with that. Those are the HIDs in the low beams. This one's bright white, and that one is a normal color. But we'll deal with that. I'm okay with that. LEDs in the fog lights, LEDs in the low beams. I had to replace this one over here because it wasn't the same as this one. And then I had a marker light out, that little marker light that makes that glow. That one was out too, so I also had to replace that. As for my fender work, it looks all good and dandy, but where it fails to fit perfect, I had a hell of a time trying to get this headlight to fit, and this is the best that I could get the bumper to fit. And you can see, instead of the fender coming straight down, I have a little bit of a curve in. And that's how the bumper fits. It didn't matter how I put it on there and tighten. I was pushing on it, all kinds of stuff. But that's the worst of it, really. The hood fits good. Have a little bit more of a gap on this side than I do the other side. But, I mean, it's pretty dang good. It's pretty close. The fender and the bumper fits perfect on this side. The headlight didn't really want to clip in. That's the best I could get it, but it still, besides this very small gap, I don't know if you can even see it in there, it looks wonderful. The paint, everything. This car looks awesome now. We are going to have to take 10 off, and let me shut the headlights off so I don't drain the battery. But has some extra paint. I had water in there. It's all been dried, and I got to button up the interior. There's a lot of things to do on this, but it looks great. That thing is mean. Yeah, I am whooped. I'm going to bed. It's late. I did just peel the pinstripe off. It came right off. I didn't even have to use a heat gun or nothing. If you pull straight out on it, it would come off most. I pulled basically the whole stripe off in one shot for most of it. It broke a couple times, but yeah, I like it without pinstripes. This thing just looks mean. I love the look of this thing. But I got the battery tender on it to keep the battery charged up because it was completely dead out of Jerry's because he forgot to take the key out. But we'll continue on this tomorrow. So I'm already battling with this thing already. I pulled the service manual up that I have for this, and was trying to figure out this intelligent key crap. So the intelligent key unit is over there. I took it out, unplugged it, looked at it. They say sometimes they get water damage. Now, it was a little rusty on the outside, so I thought, well, this one has water damage. I opened it up. It was very clean inside. Looked like no water got inside it. So I plugged it back in. Nothing worked. So I had to get that scanner out and reset the immobilizer, which is that thing. In the manual, it shows that when you push the buttons on the key, it goes to the remote key receiver, and it's up. I got to take this piece off. I got like the whole glove box and stuff out, but I need to remove this piece. It's up underneath here, and I ordered one. It was $12. I'm like, why not? So next issue, this one. Oh, I noticed how this LED was straight up and down. This one was not in straight. So I pulled it out. Here it is. And the ring that holds it in the light did not come out with it. It's stuck in there. I got it out, got it loose, and I reached in to grab it, and it dropped down into the headlight. So I fished for it for a while. I had it. I dropped it. I can't get it out of there. I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try this scope because I can't even see it now. And put this scope down in there and see where it's at and see if I can hook the camera through the hole of it and pull it out. If not, I have to remove the bumper. Pretty much just take all these pins out, and then there's 3 bolts over here on the side, and then pull the bumper out. There's a mount here that has to come off. Then I need to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts out of it to pull the headlight out. I know it sucks, but I'm gonna that's the last thing I'm gonna do, and then I can just tip the headlight up and shake it out of there. Hopefully, if I can't shake it out of there, then we're gonna have an issue. But it's not one thing; it's another. Well, that was a pain in the butt. I had it in about 3 or 4 times before I finally did it right. Now I got the bumper back on. The headlights are more than certainly going to need adjusted up and down. I don't know how to go about it because these are self-leveling headlights. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure that out. So, anyways, it's looking good. I got all the paint off the windows and everything. Only thing I need to do is I tightened up a plug on the bottom of the steering rack, and I think that's why it's not returning right now. So I'm just gonna lift this up and get under there and find it and loosen it back up. It's just like you can turn it. It moves freely, but it does not want to return, and I think that plug had something to do with it. I'm going to end up taking it out and putting some pipe tape on it, but for right now, I want to take this thing out through Mexico and just see how it works, because it's together, and it looks great. So, I'm just going to jack this up with my Daytona jack, get underneath there, and tighten that up, or, loosen it up. Alright, so we are going to take a drive through Mexico after we get there. Only thing that sucks is this seat's way far back, and I can't put it forward because of that motor. That's one of the things we have on the list. So we made it to Mexico, and the steering wheel is returning now. So it was that plug. I need to loosen it a little bit more because it returns, but not fully. It's getting there. So it was that plug on the bottom of the rack. That must adjust your return, I guess. But you can hear it's pretty loud because of the exhaust being off. But we have a RAS light, VDC light off, and a slip light. So traction control is not working. And I think RAS is the rear steering, and the ground wire off of that I don't have hooked up. So that could be that issue. So, but it sounds so good. So good. that's it. This baby rips. The rear, like I said, the rear steering light is on. VDC is on, which is the stability control, and the slip light is on. Traction control is not working. So I have a couple things to iron out, but it's not keeping the car from driving. It runs and drives fine. It's good. But yes, it rips. I kind of want the exhaust back on it because it's going to quiet it down a little bit. But those resonators are going away. We are going to put straight pipes in there. So I don't know what it's going to sound like after that. Hopefully, I still want it to have the rumble, but I want it to just sound a little bit quieter. Because it is pretty obnoxious right now at this point. Tire pressures, I'm going to see if my computer can reset them. 3 of the sensors are not reading. And that's it. The steering's fine now. And another thing I did is I came back real quick and put the flex plate back on the engine and torqued it. So that part of the engine's done. We just got to do the timing whenever the parts come in. But yeah, this thing's fun. I'm glad I'm going to keep a hold of it for a little bit. But anyways, I am way behind on editing. I have 3 videos to edit, including this one. So if you guys like this video, go check out some of my old videos, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of
Wrecked.